Okay, great. And then, all right, so we got the Facebook Live. So again, this is kind of raw, So anybody who's watching, this is fun, kind of behind the scenes of the podcast that we do and the radio show that plays on 92.9 out in the Webster Groves and Rock Hill area. So we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. There's going to be some silence while we're waiting for all the stuff to get going. And then, sorry, man, that's going to be a shaky Facebook Live. And then we'll get into the interview. So, all right.
Where's this supposed to be?
In front of your face. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be too close. I think I heard you just fine right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little here, right? Maybe just a little there. Oh, up there. Oh no, it came back at me.
Well, I have to pull in.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Sounds good. You should be able to kind of hear yourself too. And
it's not if you can hear me, if you can understand me.
You're right. No, I can hear you. Definitely. What? Yeah. You ready? All right. All right. All right, welcome to Business Owner Dad's, Time for Success Business Owner Dad's edition. And we've actually got kind of a really fun special interview today. We've got Jenni and Jerry from Next Day Signs and Graphix. And Jenni is actually the president, but she took over from her father who had started the business. And was it 1991?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, 1991. And so we kind of the great thing about today is that they're going to be able to kind of talk about kind of a couple different sides of it. So Jenni's going to be able to kind of talk about growing up in a business and how that was kind of fun, learning from an early age about business firsthand. And we've got Jerry, who's going to be talking about his what he's done and some of his secrets. So it should be a lot of fun. So Next Day Signs and Graphix. What do you guys do?
Just what we say.
I guess the name's kind of self-explanatory.
Well, when you get a name for a business, you should be able to say your name and know what you do.
Right.
So that's what we did.
That's what you did. Perfect. Yeah. So you guys provide signs, obviously, for businesses, and then graphics. So tell me a little bit more about what does graphics mean?
Well, in today's world, digital printing has come forth, and people want photographs and pictures and things like this.
Right.
And so that's what we could do.
So of course you see the vinyl on the trucks and the vans and all that stuff. They drive by, and you guys do that, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So that's one of the things you guys do, and the guys and gals. Sorry, not to be sexist. And then another area that you guys focus on too is even, you do the graphics, kind of that vinyl you said, like on windows. Do you do that on the exterior and windows?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Windows, we do banners, we do political signs, event signs, sell a lot of banners and signs at every weekend in St. Louis there's an event going on.
Awesome.
And so it's good for us. Golf tournaments.
Yeah.
We aren't in the big sign.
Like big architectural type, like the multiple story type signs. Okay.
We're kind of a crossover from a sign company to a printer.
Okay.
So it's basically vinyl signs.
Okay. Awesome. Now I've seen some of your work even in your office. Like you actually do like full wall like graphics as well. So like so in your office you really kind of had really neat decor by putting vinyl over that whole wall. It was a beautiful picture that you had up there. So that's kind of an area too that you guys work on too, kind of updating the interior.
Yeah, we've do that a lot more. It's changed a lot since we started.
Right.
And
in '91.
In '91,
Yeah.
when we started, vinyl graphics was junk.
Yeah.
Everybody thought, and everybody did hand painting, things like that,
Oh wow.
and silk screening. And
Yeah.
but vinyl has taken over because we have the computers now to handle the large files.
Yeah.
So it's everything is digital print now.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So when you first started your business years ago, '91, what was kind of your initial goal with it? What led you to start your own business?
I needed to eat.
Needed to eat. All right.
I was one of those 48-year-olds that got laid off.
Oh yeah.
From a large corporation,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just hard to go find a job making $100,000 a year.
Right.
So you learn real quick you aren't going to do that anymore.
Right.
So we started a business. The reason we started a sign business was because we didn't have to worry about poisoning our clientele. We didn't have to worry about working 7 days a week
Yeah.
or having a team of 20 teenagers serving our foods and things. So it's a lot better. You have a lot more control of your time.
So you're saying instead of like McDonald's. So you started a sign company instead of opening a McDonald's.
Right. Looking back on it, it'd probably been better to open it.
Well, they do have some of the systems that, I guess helps. But so I think that's a story that a lot of people, though, a lot of listeners can identify with. They were at a job, maybe they got laid off, or maybe they just got tired of it. They just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And so they had a kind of a different definition where a career path was like your previous definition of success. It kind of shifted for you.
Yeah, it definitely did. I worked in computers for 25 years.
Yeah.
And I got trained in the Navy, and
Thank you for your service.
we worked on that. I went to Telex, I went to ITEL, went to Intel.
Yeah.
That was the last one. That was the best job I had. So I thought they had the carrot in front of me saying you're going to retire and you can make $30,000-$40,000 a year retirement.
Oh, yeah.
And so I chased the carrot, and one day they pulled the carrot. So
man.
that happens.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's been some strings of layoffs, and I'm sure we'll see more. I mean, the economy's kind of, we're not really sure where it's going. So it's a powerful story, and so.
Anyway, I'm one of the busted boomers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to work till they put me in the ground.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully, so Jenni, I know, is taking over the business, and she's working to help it to grow and hopefully give you a nice retirement, right? Is that your goal, Jenni?
Correct.
Right. So when you started your business, you said it was kind of that your definition of success was to make sure that you don't starve to death. Is that it?
Well, when I lost my job, I still had 2 kids at home.
Right.
And they were, I don't know, grade school or.
I did a freshman in high school.
So
Wow.
we
Freshman in high school.
had to start, and it happens. You can't get discouraged.
Right.
So
Was it kind of all hands on deck when you started it? Like, all right, Jenni, you're gonna have to learn how to make some signs. Is that basically how that rolled?
well, she didn't really start in the sign business till she's towards the end of high school.
Okay, so it was the end of high school. So you were a freshman, so it was the 3-4 years before you really started getting involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did what the normal person does. I want to grow. I want to have. So I had 2 sign shops.
Oh, wow.
I had 8 employees.
Yeah.
And I gave them all health insurance, and
Wow.
we gave them bonuses if they reached certain goals and things. And everything went on. Everybody's making money except for me.
Yeah, I mean, that can be, definitely one of the challenges of business ownership, and, it can be, you want to do what you can for your employees. Well, I mean, some people just kind of, they don't necessarily have that viewpoint, but what I love about that is that you said you were really trying to take care of your team, and really trying to take care of your employees and kind of put other people first. I mean, it sounds like you're.
Well, I always have. A lot of accountants say you have to pay yourself first.
Right.
I've seen a lot of guys pay themselves first and they go out of business within a couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
When I started, the normal person, only 5% of the people ever made it past 5 years.
Right.
So
right.
we've been doing it for 29 years.
Yeah.
We're still alive, so I mean, you don't have to make a lot of money you think differently of money. When you start a business, money is not what an allowance that you get from your employer or anything. It's a you kind of use it to work the business, and so money has a different concept.
Yeah.
When you're in business.
Yeah, I kind of like what you're saying there. So, one of the points of this program is to kind of challenge what people say is success, right? Because as men, oftentimes we kind of make our career, what means success. But not only do you start a business and you're able to see it through, and you define success as happy employees but also family. Because, I mean, even through the trials and tribulations of 29 years of business, I mean, you're still a family unit, and you're still married, and you've made it through all that.
52 years. 52
years.
Yeah.
So there's some men out there who identify with their career or their business so much that, they say, you know what, this is more important than my family. This is more important than my wife. She just doesn't get it. She should get it. She should understand it. And, I'm gonna put more priority here. So what I love about that is that you've always worked hard to keep the family together. Is that fair to say?
Well, people would look at me and say I'm more married to the business than I am my family. So
that's right. So you can at least have them there.
Yeah. Well, my wife was the one that held the family together.
Yeah.
And the secret is to get her to work with you.
Okay.
And then you see her all the time.
Now, for some people, that might be a challenge. So how did you kind of make that work?
It's more like, instead of complaining about the money, she got to play with it.
Right. So you put her in charge of the finances, right. So she could see the numbers. She kind of knew what was going on, and so okay.
So anyway, she knows the story.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is, and so if I have to go to work, I go to work.
Right. So she understands. She knows more of what's going on. She can feel at least she can see what's going on.
Yeah, it doesn't mean she's going to be happy about it.
Right. Well, hey, businesses has its ups and downs, and so the mark of success is figuring out how to work through it and continue moving on. Right.
Yeah. Right. It's just a problem. I like to solve problems.
Yeah.
And that's what I used to do for Intel, and so that's what I do.
That's great.
So you never give up.
So growing up in the business, from freshman year, and then you started into senior year, I guess, is kind of when you started in the business. So what were some key moments that you remember, with the business, kind of earliest on being, starting to get involved?
Well, in his industry, the industry I'm in right now, I really loved it because it was more like you got your creative side. And you got to work with your hands, and you made things, and you see the customers pick up the signs and how excited they get, and that was more of a tipping point for me, seeing something that you created.
Yeah, and
making somebody happy and bringing in revenue for them, and just it was just fun. To me, it was like art school for adults.
Yeah,
And nobody can stop you from running around with scissors. So it was just a lot of fun, just being creative. And I didn't sit there and behind the computers or anything at the time. It was just there. I was there for production. And that's what he needed. He needed young people doing production, and you start learning your craft. And I didn't have a school to go to teach me how to make signs. You kind of learn, through mistakes, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that creative outlet, I mean, Jerry, just from our conversations, I mean, it seems like you kind of have that certainly that creative side. So it's kind of neat being able to take that creative side, like you're saying, and give that to a client when they get excited about what you've created for them that is going to be a face for their business effectively. I mean, that's going to be rewarding. I mean, was that, you know, part of your factor of success, seeing the clients get lit up about their signs?
Yeah, we concentrate basically on service.
Yeah.
And we will work into the night if we have to.
Yeah.
To meet the goals. It's kind of like I work for Intel.
Yeah.
So I took the Intel culture and put it into my business. And one of the things with Intel is if you see a problem, it's your problem until you find somebody to fix it for you. And you don't just see a problem and say, oh, there's a problem. It's your responsibility.
Okay.
And so that's the way we kind of do things. It's we get help to get it fixed if I have to.
Right.
So that's the way it is.
Well, that's great. I mean, so, you know, you're not pushing things off. You're not necessarily blaming other people. I mean, that's a really great culture. What are some ways that you fostered that with your team? You said you had a team of up to 8 before. What are some ways that you encourage them to take ownership of problems?
Well, basically they had their own work assignments that they did. One of the things that really encouraged them was a bonus that they would earn if they reach a certain number.
Oh, wow.
And we kept moving the number up every month, and they kept reaching it, so they appreciated that.
Yeah. And it encouraged them to find some new ways to maybe solve solutions, maybe work a little bit more efficiently. So, again, kind of taking that ownership of the process. But you kept dangling that carrot in front of them, I guess. You know, you put the bonuses out there that encourage them.
Well, they got the bonus, but I didn't get my retirement, so.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you know, the sign industry obviously, you know, kind of has had its ups and downs. I mean, but here's the thing: like, you made it through 2008, 2009. You know, during those hard times, and I mean. That's huge. Well, in 2001, I mean, even the .com bubbles, and I mean, you've made it through a couple of recessions. So that's a pretty powerful testament to you as a business owner.
Well, I've got my scars from 2008.
Yeah. A lot of people do, but the business has survived.
Well, it came down. I had a choice here: declare personal bankruptcy or business bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So I took the personal.
Okay.
Kept the business. You don't kill the goose.
Right. Well, you know, that's really powerful, Jerry, though, because, you know, a lot of people will run into that situation. I mean, a lot of people in the audience, and you know, thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people would just throw their hands up and say, well, you know, I guess I'm just going to close it all down and figure something else out. But, you know, if you can protect the business and kind of restructure something, sometimes it's you know, some people call, you know, bankruptcy a debt restructuring, right? And
that's what we'll call it, debt restructuring.
Right, debt restructuring.
But my wife lost her house.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But we're happy. We're old enough. We've time to downsize.
Yeah.
So we downsized.
Okay.
But it's a rough time right there.
Yeah.
But after it was over, everything got much better.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, you know, sometimes, so you know, again, I mean, in terms of, you know, how do you define success? You stayed together, you know, with your wife. A lot of people might have, you know, separated at that time, but you guys stuck together, side by side, and you still work, and you know, you're continuing to grow the business after you've you know, more or less kind of recovered from, you know, that very difficult time that. A lot of people lost their businesses. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their businesses. So, I mean, kudos to you for being able to persevere. And, you know, now Jenni is taking over and has been taking over and working on it and helping it to grow to help you guys get that retirement, right?
Yes.
Good. So, you know, in terms of, some key like business strategies for improving processes and streamlining things. I mean, you had a team of 8 that were constantly, you were dangling that carrot, pushing, encouraging them to find better solutions. I mean, you've been in business for 29 years. What were some like the big moments of like big aha moments for you in terms of like increasing efficiencies and being able to leverage your time or your team's time better?
Well, the technology changed.
Yeah.
And so we tried to stay with the technology, and that was important. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you implementing technology in the business. Well, I know we were talking the other day, and you guys were having to like upgrade the computer, right? Because it was taking too long.
Mm-hmm. Still working on that.
Still work well. Yeah. You got a lot to do. So updating the technology was a big thing for you. Now, as you were, so some business owners will, they'll create this list of to-dos for their employees, right? And then they'll crack the whip, you better do this, or, because this is your job, or you're fired, right? Whereas you incentivize people to move forward, to progress, to do better. Did you find that, rewarding people for doing well seemed to help them move along faster than just trying to crack the whip when they did wrong?
Well, I never believed in cracking the whip. I was always a leader.
Mm-hmm.
I treated myself as an employee.
Yeah.
I never felt like an owner.
Yeah.
So I always did, and I wanted to participate and show them how to do it. Mm-hmm. And we all work together as a team.
Yeah.
And you got to build a team concept with your employees.
Huh.
If you have an employee that he just shows up to get a paycheck, he's hurting you.
Right.
And another thing about employees, when you hire somebody, he has to bring in revenue.
Yeah.
You have to be able to increase revenue to pay for him.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't happen, he's hurting you.
Right.
So,
right. Well, I like what you said there, because a lot of business, and I've heard it a lot, the people that complain about, like millennials will say, or people who they want a little bit more of a interpersonal dynamic in the workplace and these kind of things, and people kind of default to the, well, I pay them, right, so that should be enough to get them to work. But it's interesting what you said is that, well, if you have somebody who's just showing up for the paycheck, then you have somebody who's probably hurting you. So that's kind of an interesting different way to look at it. And I mean, I'm sure you have your own views of millennials or whatever. I mean, but at the same time, whenever you say, when everybody else is saying, well, they should just show up for the paycheck because I pay them, you're saying, no, you need to actually be a leader and give them something to work towards.
Yeah, I can do everything in my shop myself.
Okay.
And if you're going to own a business, you've got to be able to do everything yourself. And
right.
A lot of the owners they don't even want to participate. My brother had a sign shop,
mm-hmm.
and he didn't even know how to make a sign. But he was concentrating on sales. He had a nice big office and everything.
Yeah.
But he only lasted about 10 years. He's out of the business.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's, if you really want to go, you have to
dig in and learn. I mean, now one of the principles of ownership is that, I mean, you can leverage other people's time and empower other people, but oftentimes to empower other people, sometimes you kind of have to get in and really show them what to do, and so you have to be able to do it. Is basically kind of what you're saying has helped you.
The main thing is communication. You need to be able to talk to them.
Oh yeah.
They need to be able to talk to you without you screaming at them or anything.
Right.
So that they feel good about themselves. Everybody's going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And when they make a mistake, just make sure that they learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
And as they learn, they become a better employee.
Yeah.
So it happens. Humans make mistakes.
Right. Definitely. Well, and I like that too, because, as human beings, if we try to create a culture where, perfection is the only way, as opposed to, we acknowledge that risks and failures are part of it, and we just, you have to make smart and calculated risks, and we have to empower people to do that, but we also have to give them a little bit of freedom, because innovation never happened whenever you just always follow the same system. If people don't have a little bit of leeway to try to improve things like you encourage people to do, then you get stuck in antiquated processes with nobody kind of pushing and improving it. So I love that. So one thing that I did want to kind of impress upon and talk a little bit about. So one of the key aspects is, we're trying to help business owners find better ways to leverage their time and use their time more wisely and improve their businesses. So what is the importance of having a high quality like sign in their business, or high quality graphics on their vehicles or in their offices? I mean, you can't just throw up some letters. I mean, what's the importance?
Their image.
Their image.
Yes.
So it's very important what their brand is, because I've seen some like vehicles that kind of have like the letters peeling off, right? And kind of falling down, and it's like, I guess some people think, well, at least my number's on there, but I mean, does that encourage people to call, or do you think that scares people away from calling?
Well, I think it discourages people from talking to them. These trucks, these service trucks that people use, like plumbers and heating.
Yeah.
When they pull into a neighborhood, if they have an old beat up truck,
yeah,
nobody wants to use them.
Right. Or if the graphics are falling off because
right.
somebody used like low quality vinyl. I think you guys were saying.
Yeah.
If that's the image that they have, then that shows an image of how they work.
Right.
And you don't want to pay for that.
It might be unfair, but it is. Or what people see is kind of how they interpret things. So if they see that it's faded, looks like it's old, outdated, maybe they think that, well, they're probably not very successful if they can't pay to update this stuff. So it's really important to have that strong image.
Well, I ask you, if you need a plumber and a old beat up truck came in to your neighbors, would you go over and talk to them about your plumbing needs?
No, I probably want to see something that looked very nice, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, well, thank you very much, Jerry and Jenni with Next Day Signs and Graphics. Really enjoyed talking with you, and some of the key principles of just strong leadership and really giving people incentives to move forward in their business. Prioritizing family and keeping it as a family unit and a family business. So thank you so much. Again, this is Matt Barbie with Time for Success, Business Owner Dad's Edition, and we will see you next week. All right. And thanks everybody for watching. Hey, Joe Tebow. All right, goodbye.